This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 15th day of February in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Vice President Bara Jagdeo today said that a large number of the nation's teachers who have been on strike have started to return to the classroom. He has also issued a stern warning to head teachers not to close schools or prevent teachers from going into the classroom, making it clear that there will be consequences. At his weekly press conference this afternoon, Mr. Jagdeo stated that the government has been concerned about learning loss for students during the strike. He noted that while some teachers are still on strike, others are heading back to school.
We have seen a significant number of teachers going back to schools. You've had a few cases where head teachers have closed the school and disappear. And if they continue to do that, there'll be a different kind of disciplinary action. We're making it clear. Because you can choose to withdraw your labor, but not to prevent other people from working.
Vice President Jagdeo maintained that the government has introduced a number of measures to improve the lives of teachers. He said a strike action was called by the GTU while there was an active negotiation taking place between the union and the Education Ministry. The union says there was no negotiation. The government has not shown any interest to meet with the teachers during the strike action. And now that some teachers are beginning to go back to school, the vice president is also urging students to return to school.
The problem is a lot of people still are not sending the kids to school because they're here. So I've seen the stats from some regions where 85% of the teachers are back in the classroom. Remember, you've had, in the past, you only had 70% turnout, but say 85% of the 70% turnout are back in the classroom, and still the students are not there. The teachers are there now, and when I look at 10% of the children are only have returned to school.
Mr. Jagdeo said the government remains committed to addressing the concerns of the nation's teachers, but he stated there is a lot of bad faith negotiations on the part of the GTU. He said until the union can prove that it is acting only in the interests of teachers, then will the government be prepared to re-engage. More news coming up in just a moment.
Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH, Splash-O-Mani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff water, pulse, nuff soca. The night before the holiday, soca star Problem Child. All that Tunji. Is a party in the engine. Splash-O-Mani, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Olatunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
Fireside Suite, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price down a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time, say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensure down a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap down a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay down a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473. Matic Queen.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
The nationwide strike by teachers is continuing, with more teachers speaking out on the government's continued reluctance to engage the Guyana Teachers Union as the second week of the strike action winds down. In Essequibo, outspoken teacher Martin Samaru took to social media this morning and explained the hardships facing teachers and the need for the government to get serious and begin negotiations with the union. He said the government has been very unreasonable to the nation's teachers. He said too many teachers, including himself, are forced to do additional side jobs to ensure they are in a position to provide for their families.
None of us are rich out here. All of the teachers that are out here, they're not rich. Nobody's rich. They're on the breadline. And I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not embarrassed to tell you what I live in. I'm not embarrassed to tell you it's a one bedroom house. I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I wish I had it better. I'm not embarrassed to tell you those things. Because it's real. Those of you who know where I live, you know it's real. There are certain things we want to accomplish. Certain things we want to put in place for our families. And we can't have it happen because what is happening to us in this profession, it's modern day slavery.
In some parts of the Essequibo region, some striking teachers have opted to return to their jobs, even as the strike continues, while others have chosen to stay on the picket line or strike for just a few hours in the morning. Mr. Samaru said he is aware that many of the teachers in the Essequibo region are afraid of being victimized, and he is sure that he will be victimized for the position that he has taken to stand up and speak out for his fellow teachers.
I want you to know there isn't anything left for me after this strike action is over. I want you to know that. I want you to know that the level of victimization I'm going to receive, it's probably going to be more than I can bear in the system. I want you to know that. I want you to understand that. Because my face has been plastered on the live, rebuking the wickedness in the powers that be, I am going to suffer. I know that. I know that. No one has to say that to me. But I rather suffer for a cause than to bow out and be a coward. I rather suffer for a cause, for the cause of teachers. Of teachers. That's right, of teachers.
The government continues to accuse the Guyana Teachers Union of engaging in an illegal strike action that is political. The Essequibo teachers said the strike is not political, and it is about real bread and butter issues for teachers like himself, who have committed their entire professional life to the teaching profession. He said teachers have found themselves being a slave to the system, but noted that he will continue to stand up for all teachers, especially those who have not been coming out and joining the strike.
We are being forced to be a slave to the system. That is what we're being forced to be. So don't feel that because, oh, Sir Martin is out here, he's the poster boy for the live on Region 2. No, I didn't ask for that. I am standing up for you teachers who are not coming out. That's what I'm doing. You might feel that our lives are a bed of roses. I haven't gotten work for the past 2 weeks in photography, 3 weeks even. Haven't gotten work. So that is what it is.
Teachers have been calling on the government to return to the negotiating table and start to engage the union on salary increases and other issues related to their jobs. President Irfan Ali has asked the teachers to be patient. But with the union submitting its proposal for salary increases 3 years ago and the negotiations stalled, teachers now say they have no more patience left. Though offering no indication that the government is prepared to meet with the Guyana Teachers Union to bring an end to the nationwide strike action, Vice President Barra Jagdeo today said the wage bill for teachers in Guyana has increased by $15 billion since 2020.
In 2023, that's the end 2023, because we have not given the salary increase for this year as yet, it grew to $39.4 billion. So that's a $15 billion increase from 24.4 to 39.4 billion on wages and salaries for teachers. That's a 61.4% increase in allocation for wages and salaries for teachers.
Mr. Jagdeo has come in for some criticism over his shift in position on strike actions by teachers. Back in 2018, he supported a strike initiated by teachers who at the time were also demanding better salaries from the then David Granger administration. Today, he said the issue at the time was that the government was not engaging teachers.
The contention of mine that they were not meeting the multi-year agreement that they had under my presidency had come to an end, and they had no meeting whatsoever. They refused to meet with the teachers union, and I was saying, you need to meet with the teachers union. It was not an advocacy for a specific percentage.
But GTU General Secretary Coretta MacDonald has long explained that the meeting in January between the union and the Education Ministry dealt strictly with policy issues and not the substantive issues. Today, as she joined scores of teachers on the picket line in front of the Ministry of Education, the General Secretary explained that initially the union had approached the Education Ministry, however was subsequently informed that the issue of salary increases would be dealt with by the Office of the President, and there's been no movement since.
Our focus here is payment for teachers. Don't tell us about policy issues, because teachers cannot carry policy issues to the market. And teachers are saying that they can't carry policy issues to the market. What we want the government to be dealing with at this time is the finances.
The government, in addition to announcing salary cuts for teachers on strike, has also accused the union of misappropriating its funds over its failure to submit its financial records to the deeds and commercial registries and the audit office. But the GTU General Secretary said the government, by its actions, is only agitating teachers. She warned that the failure to return to the negotiating table could result in other sections of the public service downing their tools as well.
I'm sure this regime, this government, would not want to see the nurses and the doctors out here. I am sure that this government would not want to see other public servants out here with the teachers. I am almost sure that this very government would not want to see some of their drivers and some of their maids and some of their bodyguards out here, because they all have connections to teachers. And if they want to see that, then we will go that way.
The GTU has since moved to the courts to challenge the salary cuts, as well as the move by the government to halt the deduction of union dues on behalf of the union. But Mr. Jagdeo today said the issues have been ventilated in the courts and there is no chance of success. But on the picket line today, teachers said they remain resolute.
Not frustrated, we are resolved. We are standing our ground, as our team says, slippers on the ground, we ain't backing down. We have been waiting for quite a long time, and we have seen the other public servants and other persons within our society, their salaries would have been set. And we believe that teachers, they need to revisit teachers' salary scale, and they need to set us better than what they are doing right now.
Teachers said while government is refusing to meet with the union to discuss the issue of salary increases, the children of Guyana are suffering. One teacher said today marked 9 days since thousands of children have been out of school.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
The oil spill along the southwestern coast of Tobago, which has caused extensive pollution, has been linked to two vessels that were on their way to Guyana from Panama, according to Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of National Security. In a statement, the Ministry of National Security in Trinidad said the vessels, a tug and a barge, were on their way to Guyana from Panama when they capsized, causing the oil spill. Investigations have so far revealed that the vessels appear to have been bound for Guyana, the ministry said. However, the Guyanese authorities have confirmed that neither vessel arrived as anticipated. The ministry said it has been able to confirm that the barge was being towed by a tug, the Solo Creed, from Panama, destined for Guyana. Satellite images also show the Solo Creed towing an object on the 4th of February. In Trinidad, the National Coastal Surveillance Radar Center was able to use the information to track the vessel in Trinidad and Tobago waters, towing an object. The National Security Ministry said the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard is working with local and regional authorities, including those here in Guyana, to further investigate the incident, which took place on the 7th of February. In the statement, Trinidad's Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, expressed appreciation for the support provided by regional bodies, including the Guyana Coast Guard. He said they've been working very closely with the Guyana Coast Guard on the critical matter and appreciates the full-scale support. He assured that Trinidad's Coast Guard will continue to work with other local and regional authorities as the investigation continues. The authorities in Trinidad and Tobago have said that though the vessels capsized, they have been unable to locate the crew and are unsure of any possible fatalities. This morning, Guyana's Maritime Administration Department and its Public Relations Officer, Talisa McClure, told news sources that the matter was engaging the attention of Guyana, and the country has offered to lend full support through the Civil Defense Commission if required. McClure has committed to providing more information as that information becomes available. But she said Guyana has long confirmed that the vessel was not in Guyana and had not left Guyana. The spill of black oily deposits which have spread from Scarborough to lowlands in Tobago has posed a serious threat to the island's biodiversity. As the authorities in Trinidad and Tobago continue with their probe, they are actively engaging in a cleanup with the hope of minimizing the impact of the spill on the environment. Weeks after 2 shipments of cocaine were able to pass through the Chile-Jagan International Airport at Tamari undetected, there has been no local arrest in either of the 2 cases. Officials of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit today told news sources that in the case of the 50 pounds of cocaine that was found on a flight from Guyana at the Toronto airport in Canada in an abandoned bag, officials in Canada are still to provide details of their investigations and the bust. The cocaine was reportedly loaded onto a Caribbean Airlines plane at the Chile-Jagan airport. Local investigators determined that a cocaine-laden suitcase never passed through the scanners at the airport, and they suspect that the drugs might have been smuggled onto the tarmac and eventually onto the plane. Local investigators have indicated that they are still awaiting details from the Canadian authorities on the drug bust so that they can ascertain any possible local links. And in the case of the 40 pounds of cocaine discovered in a suitcase hidden among packages of shrimp at the JFK airport in New York, while 2 persons have since been arrested and charged in connection with that bust, there have been no local arrests. Kanu questioned a number of airport staffers as part of the local probe, but those interviews did not provide any useful information about the cocaine shipment through the airport. Investigations into both incidents are ongoing. Investigations are ongoing tonight into that devastating fire which gutted the Castle Hotel in New Amsterdam, Berbice yesterday. The fire service said it was summoned to the scene of the blaze just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon and immediately went into action. According to a statement from the fire service, it was able to source water from nearby hydrants. However, news source understands that water was also sourced from a nearby swimming pool. The 3-story building was badly damaged. The top floor, which was completely engulfed in flames, suffered the most damage. Persons who were in the hotel at the time managed to escape with no serious injuries or fatalities reported. A cause of the fire is still to be determined and a full investigation has been launched. The fire service said it was able to contain the blaze to the 1 building and remains committed to ensuring the safety and security of citizens and their properties.
Did you know Gyro Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, a week after an oil spill was first spotted near Tobago's shore, portions of the stain are moving in opposite directions into the Caribbean Sea. The island's emergency management agency FEMA said on Wednesday, putting the country's neighbors on alert. Reuters in a report said first responders and volunteers have been trying to contain the 7-mile spill, which is emerging from a vessel that had capsized. To avoid impacting a nearby cruise ship port, Trinidad and Tobago's government has said, but the leak has not been plugged. Satellite images and models suggest that waves might be moving some of the spill into the Caribbean Sea, past northern Venezuela, increasing the risk that the oil impacts other beaches in Trinidad and Tobago that have coral reefs and even other countries' coasts. FEMA's director Alan Stewart told Reuters. Venezuela's Foreign Affairs Ministry said on Wednesday on social media that the country was monitoring the spill and has initiated meetings with Trinidad's government to coordinate action. A stalled marijuana law in the U.S. Virgin Islands got a big push Tuesday after an advisory board approved a list of proposed rules and regulations that would govern the recreational use of cannabis in the territory. The board's vote represented a key step toward implementing a law approved more than a year ago to allow the recreational use on the 3 islands. A 30-day public comment period on the proposed legislations and rules is scheduled to start soon. The board is also finalizing a list of people it thinks are qualified to have their criminal records expunged of simple cannabis possession as authorized by the law. The list will be shared with legislators, the island's Supreme Court, and others in upcoming weeks, board member Positive Nelson said. Some 300 people in the U.S. Virgin Islands have been convicted of simple marijuana possession in the past 20 years. And finally tonight, international news. Jury selection in Donald Trump's first criminal trial will begin on March 25, the judge in his New York hush money case says. Justice Juan Merchan made the announcement after dismissing Trump's motion to have the case dismissed. This case relates to allegations of hush money paid to adult actress Stormy Daniels in 2016. Daniels says she was paid $130,000 in 2016 to stay quiet after having sex with Trump, who denies they ever had an affair. The former president is accused of falsifying his business records by saying the payment was for legal fees. He's facing 34 counts of fraud under campaign finance laws and has pleaded not guilty to all of them. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.